This is episode 40, and today I want to talk about how you can master the perfect posture. Welcome to Freya Singing Tips, the podcast. My name is Freya Casey, professional singer and vocal coach. I have been on stage my whole life, and I'm passionate about helping you discover the awesomeness in your own voice. Opera, musical theater, jazz, pop, folk, rock, I have done it all. And I want to give you golden nuggets of advice on how to be the master of your voice. This episode is brought to you by my brand new online video course, and it is called Conquer Your Stage Fright. I have gotten so many comments in the Facebook group and also from all of my students. I have a lot of students who are on stage, who have been on stage actually, and they are still struggling with stage fright. Maybe you don't quite have stage fright, but maybe you stand on stage and you don't feel quite natural and you want to learn how to really stand there, be confident, be yourself. And that's the most important thing. You want to be able to be yourself because a lot of times you get on stage and you feel like you're having an out-of-body experience. You do what you do and the singing goes great, but somehow you can't quite be the performer and not really let your personality shine through. And this is why I created the course. You can learn to switch off all the distractions and to really focus on what you want to perform so you can truly be yourself. So check that out on my website, freyassingingtips.com. The link is in the show notes and I would love to see you on the inside. Okay, on to this episode. The perfect posture. It is so important to have great posture as a singer. You know that. Why is it so important? Just because your body is your instrument. Just as being healthy is important, it is also important the way you hold yourself up or not. So you want to have enough tension in those places where you really need it and the relaxation and, just not too much tension on those parts where you don't need it. What I always imagine is, imagine you're very relaxed. Your shoulders, you're just hunching over and you're sitting there or standing there in a very, very relaxed way. And then what happens on your sternum, there's a string attached. And then slowly somebody pulls you up by the string that's attached to your sternum. What happens, you lift yourself, you lift your chest. However, you do not pull back your shoulders. Have you ever seen like a puppet, like their arms just wiggle because there's no tension in them and your arms should be very relaxed? What is important for posture for singers is that you have that tension in your core, holding yourself up from your middle, pulling yourself up, and now this is the very important part. Keep your shoulders relaxed, keep your neck relaxed, keep your jaw relaxed. All those parts, your legs, your hips, very relaxed, not in a very unnatural way. A lot of people ask me, okay, where do I put my feet? Where do I put my hands? Now for your hands, I always teach to just let them hang on your sides, like by your sides, and not to get used to doing any gestures or those singer cliche gestures. I would just, whenever you practice, I would practice to let your hands hang so that you are able, no matter how much tension you have, like in your middle, and how hard this passage is that you're singing, that you're still able and capable of singing with just your arms hanging very relaxed by your sides. Because what that does, it allows you later on when you do want to perform on stage to not be tied to this cliche gesture or any position that you just always are in. You can just be very free with your hands and it doesn't have anything to do with your support. I always describe it like this. Your middle, your core, this holding yourself up from the middle, that's your core, and everything else that hangs on that core, that extrudes your arms, your legs, and even your head, there's no tension. You're not tense there. It's very relaxed, and it's detached from that tight core. So whenever you sing, test yourself. Are your arms tight? Are they locked up? Are your legs locked up? is your neck locked up? It needs to be very relaxed. You need to check that. And it is a hard piece of work to really get there, to achieve that. Because the tendency is that when something is really hard and you're trying really hard, that the tension creeps in there. So always keep practicing that. That your shoulders, your neck, your arms, your legs stay very relaxed. Now for your legs and your hips, don't get into any unnatural position. It doesn't matter how far your legs are apart or together. The most important thing is it needs to be in a very relaxed position, natural, relaxed position. Because when you stand on stage, people don't want to see anything really weird, an unnatural position, something that's really artificial. They want to see you in a very natural position. And a lot of times you may think you stand up very straight, but you're actually falling over forward. So tape yourself on video or something. It is amazing. You think you are straight, but a lot of times what I did in the past, and I watched myself on video when I was in college studying voice, I would always fall forward. So that's something I had to work on very hard to get rid of that. So I would stand up straight, and then I started singing. I would always just kind of lean forward just a little bit. Sometimes you may have the tendency to shift your head forward. You want to try to keep your neck relaxed so that your head is in a very natural, relaxed position. And then also, you want to keep your jaw relaxed because your jaw is also connected to your neck and your head and all that. You want to keep that relaxed. That way, your vocal tract is very free, and that's what you want to happen. Whenever there's too much tension overall in your body, especially around your neck or shoulder area, that also affects the voice just because it is close to the vocal tract. And when those muscles get very tense and tight, you can hear that in the voice because it just presses on the larynx. So make sure you always stay relaxed there. Now, what happens when you start moving around, whether you're playing an instrument or on stage? Whenever you're performing. Now, playing an instrument, here's the deal. Whenever you play an instrument, you need your hands and arms to play normally. And there are some instruments that require a position that is not symmetrical, like the guitar, you have it more on one side, or like the flute, you have it on one side. The piano is pretty much symmetrical. You go with both hands. But any instrument that requires an asymmetrical position, that is totally fine, because if you have learned to really detach that tension in your arms, your hands, your shoulders from that core that always stays tight, then you don't really get too tense and tight. You need to really, if you've mastered relaxing these body parts, you can move them independently. And that's very important, to move your limbs very independently from your core. And then whenever you're playing an act and you're just acting up on stage, or you're in a scene or something, or you're even playing an instrument, you can do anything you want to do as long as your torso stays straight and stretched and upright. You can do pretty much anything. You could lay down. You could even lay down on your stomach forward. That's possible as long as you don't tilt your neck backwards or something like that. You could be pretty much in any position as long as those criteria are given, that core that stays tight and everything else relaxed, and your upright torso and your relaxed neck and head and stuff like that. As long as that's given, you can do anything you want to do. You can dance, and that's why people can dance and sing. That's possible. You can do a headstand. You can do anything you want to do, actually, pretty much. And the more you're able to detach what's, around your core from the core, the more it allows you to move very freely. Also, when you're on stage, like I have the feeling nowadays when I'm on stage that my gestures that I do with my hands and arms, they are very detached. They don't really put strain on my body or anything like that, just because it has nothing to do with my core. My core stays intact all the time because I've practiced it for so many years, and then it really feels good because you have that tension in the middle, which is a lot of work, but your ab muscles are big. They're big muscles. They can take a lot of work. So they take the brunt of the work, and then the rest of your body can kind of relax and do its own thing. It's kind of like you have two bodies. Your core is one thing, and then your vocal tract, and then everything else is just kind of like just something that's hanging on there that can do its own thing. That's what I see it like. And it has really helped me to relax my body more. Because the end goal is to have ease, to make it feel effortless. It is not effortless as far as work goes from your core, but it needs to feel effortless in regards to your vocal cords and the rest of your body. So you can actually have stamina. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to do it for hours and hours and days and weeks and years. And you want your vocal cords to still work perfectly and to have that good posture whenever you get older and you've been singing maybe for 30, 40 years. I mean, I want my voice to stay very healthy. And I think that you can only grant that when your body stays strong. So you can actually keep that core strong. And that keeping that core strong has a lot to do with your muscles, how well your muscles are in shape. And the older you get, that's just the truth. The reality is that your muscle tone just gets less. So you need to work even more. And I recently had a student, and she told me that she just has been feeling in the past couple of years that she's really losing strength, like overall, not just in singing, but it really has affected her singing because she feels like she has no strength in her body. Her muscles, her muscle tone is just getting weaker and less. So she decided she needs to do more yoga and more working out. And that is probably a great idea because once you strengthen your body overall, first of all, of course, your muscles are built up again. And then second of all, you just train your body. You train to have a better awareness of your body. And that is always a great thing, to have more awareness of what's happening, what's coordinating here, and what is moving, what has tension, what is relaxed. So doing something like yoga, I mean, yoga is awesome. Sean Veek, he has an awesome YouTube channel. He does power yoga. And he's actually a former singer. I've done a collaboration video with him. You may want to search that. Freya Casey Sean Veek. That's SEAN and then VEGUE. I believe that's what it is. I will put it in the show notes also. He does awesome exercises, and that's something that's perfect. You don't need any weights or any equipment. It's just exercises that involve your body. Alrighty. That's what I think is the perfect posture, and I think you should work on keeping your perfect posture after achieving it, keeping it for the rest of your life, so you will save your vocal cords. Because your vocal cords are delicate membranes and muscles. They are very small and delicate. They will wear out, so you want to save them. You want to train them, but you want to save the work and leave that up to your core. Thanks so much for listening today. If you have not already, join my Facebook group. There's over 400 people in there now, and it's awesome. There are great conversations happening. We share each other's singing, and we encourage one another. We also have some fun there every once in a while, and don't talk about singing, but it is a great bunch. Also, I'm opening up more master classes that will start probably in March or April. And depending on how many people are applying, that's a 3-month intensive program in which you will be part of a small group setting. We're up to 8 people, and we will meet every week online to put you on the spot, to grow you, to really challenge you, and to find your voice, more ease in your voice, and to help you become the best singer you can possibly be. You can apply for that on my website, freyasingingtips.com. Click on the Work With Me tab, and you will find all the ways you can work with me, including one-on-one sessions. But one-on-one session is actually included in the masterclass. It's a $150 value that is part of the masterclass. All right, that's it for today. Until next time, don't forget, always keep on singing and always keep a song in your heart. Bye-bye.